Good morning. Welcome to today's session. This is weekly updates. I know that the question in the heart of many now is, what next? The video, I think I did a video, and I also dropped a voice note during the week to tell us what the price is going to print. In this business, you cannot jump ahead of the price. You have to see what the price is printing, and your understanding of the basic understanding of structure and wave is what would tell you this is the next thing that you are likely to going to see. You have to wait for moves, interpret the move to kind of know the mood of the market. Where it gets interesting, usually it's at the corrective stages. That is, if it's wave 2 or wave 4, that is where it gets, a bit delicate. If it's wave 2 or wave 4, or if we are doing an ABC. So what are we seeing? At the start of every move, when a wave comes to the downside and the next one is turning up, the only thing you can think of is this wave, and the second wave is the wave going to correct the first one. That's just the only thing you can think of. But the best also is to first look at the higher time frame, then you can begin to downgrade to the lower time frame. Now, on the higher time frame, you might know this is the overall direction of the trade. But again, you want to get the intermediate direction, the immediate direction. So all these things are what you have to learn. And in between all these corrections, the advantage you can have to close positions and all of that. But when you don't understand, then you see that you are in deep profit. Oh, then you tell yourself, I could have closed, I should have closed. Then when you are in negative, let me just, close so that I don't go more into negative and all of that. So basically, we have to understand the move and the structure and the wave. So when the first wave come down, the second wave might be seen, if you understand the direction on the larger time frame, as a correction. So this correction, we don't know what it's going to be. It could just be, a simple correction of wave 1, and it turns out to be a wave 2, or it turns out to be a wave 4, or it turns out to be a B. But again, on the lower time frame, much lower time frame, you begin to see the internal structure of all those waves to tell, okay, what are we going to have at the end of the day? So if it turns out to be like this, the first thing you want to see, okay, this is actually maybe a wave 2 or a wave B, Of course, in a wave 2 situation, of course, it won't erase the entire length of wave 1. In a wave B, you can go past it. So these are things that we must know, that in a wave B, you can go past it. And you can actually also, not go past it in a wave B. But in a wave 2 situation, it has to be at least, a 50% correction. And when it is turning down, if it's indeed a correction, when it's turning down, you don't know where it's going to go. If it's going to turn down in the middle, if it's going to break below it, you don't know. So, of your correction, it has to do what it has to do before you now begin to say, okay, now I think this is probably A, this is probably a B. And when the other one is turning up, first, what we are thinking about, okay, the possible ABC scenario, that's what you're thinking, because it can actually go up and break the top of this, because that is what price does, you know, to take liquidity below, take it up. It can actually not even go below it and turn up. It could do anything, but you have to allow a wave to finish. And we've talked much about that. We allow the first wave, we allow the second wave, the third wave. Now, this third wave, you can say A, B, and a C correction, or A, B, C of a 2. It could be anything. But overall, you want to see that from here to this point, taking it up does not erase what a wave 2 should be. Then that's how to look at it. Then I cannot tell that this correction right from the first wave is going to be a WXY. Nobody can tell that. Even by the time you have the second correction, nobody can tell it's going to go into a WXY. You first have to take it as if it's A, B, and a C until something else shifts. So now, because we are dealing with these as a possible 3-wave correction, and the last one is coming down, technically, all you want to do is that this last one, and this should go down and break. But then, you are anticipating. You don't have to anticipate. You just have to follow. And that's, if you have seen me, most of the time, I might not even give TP. I will look at the structure and tell myself, this is where my stop loss can be. This is where my entry can be. And let me see if the structure is going to change again. So the structure can continue to change and change and change until, so when it's coming down again, you know, it can actually get to this point and bounce up again. And it can go low. But then, at what point is that this one that is coming down stops being a correction? Once I go beyond 161.8 extension down here, and this is more than 161.8 of these, it tells me that I'm in a new wave. Otherwise, if it gets to this point and it's not 161.8, it can be like the part of you, then you now begin to see, oh, maybe this is A, B, C of a 2, and this is wave 1, A, B, C of a 2, or maybe this is a 3-1, and we're going to do a 3-2. So you begin to look at the possibilities of what the price can do. So a break out of 161.8 will tell you that this is a new wave. Not until that happens. So, and this one happens now. And the next thing you now see is that you could have tell that this A, B, C, and this is, you can even say this is a 3-1. And it might still be part of correction, of a complex correction that is developing. So we have to align ourselves. We have to realign ourselves as it's happening. We have to realign ourselves. And this one now begins to go up again. From here, the price turns up again. And it gets to this point. It turns up again. When it turns to this point again, oh, you say, okay, this is ABC of a 2. This is a 3-1. This is part of a 3-2. You can begin to feel like that. But in your feeling and what you are seeing, you don't know what price is printing yet. Yeah, printing yet. So you have to follow. And this one comes down again. Then you are telling yourself, maybe it is part of what? A wave 3-1 of a 2. So A, B, C. Not until something begins to shift that you realize that what you are seeing here is actually a WXY, or is actually, it could be a 5-wave. So you can't tell straight, but all you can do is to look at the fib ratios that these corrections are making. That is all that you can do. And at one point, you think something is giving or something is changing. Then again, you have to count the internal structure of the wave to see what kind of wave is it developing into. So because this would actually be a 1, A, B, C of a 2, a 3-1 A, B, C, and in the making. Or that it could actually be, okay, A, B, C, D, E, and which is the last wave of what we say a triad, which is a triangle. And in this kind of triangle, what you see here is that this is like that, a common base. It can be anything, it can be anything. That this base is common, the floor is just common, and this is like A, B, C, D, E. And if this is E, then you may think that, okay, this is now going to break through, because it cannot be more than, sorry now. So that this is going to break through, because this is A, B, C, D, E, and it's a 5. And if this is going to break through also, and it's now out of the triangle, because you are thinking that now it could be a triangle. First, we thought first A, B, C of a 2, or a 3-1, a 3-2, and but because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's breaking. So it has to pull beyond 161.8 of this move to the downside before you say that now, oh, is really technically a triangle, and we are in a new wave. But again, one thing that will tell you is a triangle also is that in a triangle, we know that all the waves are 3 waves. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The last one, which is 5, also is 1, 2, 3. So we will never see a 5-wave structure in a triangle. We'll never see a 5-wave structure in a triangle. But again, when you are looking at their internal architecture, a triangle also could form a triad like this. The first one can go like this. And we have the second wave also that does this, and its third wave, can do this, depending on the kind of time frame that you are looking at. So, and all this can be a flat in this triangle, 3, 3, 5. It can be that. So it can be anything. It can be anything. It can even be a zigzag in that triangle. It can be anything. But on that time frame, before you have a change of direction, you have to really count and see. Now, we're just saying that. And this one may just do like this, break the low. After breaking this low, and once it's not beyond 161.8 of this, you can come again, break the top again, break that top again, and you are wondering, what are we dealing with? That can happen. That can happen. So, and when this happens again, all you have to tell yourself, this is not a triangle anymore. This is not a triangle, because it is a triangle, and A, B, C, D, E, and this should just continue to go. And this one has to turn up again. Then it's not a triangle anymore. So you now begin to look at what and what. Now, what you have to get here first, looking at what we have here, because we are going to teach what we have here. What you have to get first is, this is the 4-hour time frame. On this time frame, you see a move here. You see a break. Now, you have a break to the downside. So this is the first move. And this ends the first move. This trend line ends the first move. So this is 1, 2, 3 of a move. This is Euro USD. Then you have this move again, regardless of what you are seeing. Because if you just cut it from here, this is just part of the first move, the price is still caught. The price is still caught by this trend line here. So it's still caught by that trend line there. Then you have to now navigate like this. So this is a new move, 1 and a 2. Then we come here again. in between this low. Now, this tells me that this is a new move. 1, 2, 3. That's the third move. And here, to this side, that's the fourth move. So we are seeing those different moves. This is one move, this is another move, this one is another move, and this is another move. So we have a break of this trend line. And this is another break. So we can see that we have another break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've had 5 breaks now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so the next one we are going to see is a break here too. So we are waiting for that break. What is it going to be? So the only thing we know now is that this is like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. What are we going to see? Is this one going to break all the low? The price may break all the low and turn up again. That is one thing you must be aware of, because you are asking me, what is the next thing? Now, not until this wave breaks this by more than 161.8, we are still not in a new wave. We are still trapped within correction. But can I tell that, oh, this wave is still part of correction, and the correction is not done in the middle here? I may not be able to tell until this move breaks structure to the upside. In trying to see structure break, maybe I should still bring all those things back. Let me try and bring those things back and try for you to see what structure break is on 5 minutes time frame. I want you to see something, so that's why I'm doing all of this. Though the line will be too much, but at least it will still worth it. It will still watch it. I think I can't have more than 5 minutes, more than this. So let's go to the first one. Now, this is the first one. There is the first move here. Now, you are looking at this is a lower low, and this is a lower low here until this happens. So you might take this as a structure break here at this level. You might take that this as broken structure at that level. But again, you don't want to jump. How do you know that structure is broken? Because it's just immediate structure of this one that is broken, of this wave that is going on. Because this could have been like a trial, like I said, A, B, C, or it could have been a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5, and it ends this as a 3, a 4, a 5 to finish this wave. So this wave can be funny. This is, and you can say maybe it's an A, B, C of that first wave. It can be anything. This can be A, B, C, or it can be a 3, 4, 5. But when I know that this wave is complete and it's going to a new wave is what I need. How do I do that? What I need to do is from this last structure of this immediate wave, I take this to the upside Then I can clone also to get this immediate wave here. So the first thing I will be thinking that this is probably an A and this is probably a B. And I'm telling myself, not until a C, this is going down, breaks more than 161.8, I'm not in a new wave. So I want to see what a C is going to give me. I want to see what a C is going to give me in between here and here now, because this is like, maybe this is an A, this is a B for me, and a C must break below 161.8 of A to B now. Let me first see, oh no, sorry, B to C. Now, that is the origin or the end of a B, A, end of a B. So 161.8 here coincide with this, which is at that point. So now price just touched 161.8 and went up. So for me, it's still part of the correction. It has not moved. I'm just teaching us something for us to know what a break of structure is really when we are trading, and it's not a forced break of structure. So this is still not as broken any structure. So, but from here, once it goes, pulls below here, definitely it can be a Y, can be a break of structure. Even this move here, from here to here, is still part of the move. This one is still not part of it. It has not grown into a new wave. If it go past 161.8, oh, it's a new wave growing. So you can know, oh, it's still continuing. So it can actually be a 3, 4, 5 here of the first wave in here. Then this can be an A, sorry, a B and a C, and has finished this correction. So as we can see, this is still part of this. So now this is the last thing that has been created. So not until I break this structure now that I won't see myself growing into a new wave. And the first thing that indicates that break of the structure is this trend line that has been breached might just tell me that we might be going down. So this trend line that has been breached might mean that we probably are going down. But then what you can do, because the price actually moved down, break this structure to the downside, creating a new lower low now. So this is a low. All this why we had this as a low, a new low, but this one also kind of formed a new low to this immediate low. But because it has not pulled beyond 161.8, I might still not take it. So price came back up and now creates a new low here. This is the first new low. Now, if I measure at this to this now. When we look at this new low here, from here to here, because this is the next thing I'm going to do. So I come up again to the height of this last wave. Now, this is a low here of this particular, the last part of this wave. This is a low here. I'm looking at price must pull below this low, at least 161.8. I come to it, grab from here to here. I need to see price break lower than 161.8. This is 161.8. So, and that 161.8 Price has pulled lower, telling me that we are growing into a new trend now. Price came back and much now is now more pushing more lower. Back up again and giving me a lower low, a lower low. Now with this lower low here, what did the price do again? Price created a low, which has not broken this low. So structure is not broken around this area because this is a new height here. You can see the low, low, and this is a new height. So I come to this as I want to see a break of structure to the upside in this at this level now. I'm shifting break of structure, this is a low, break of structure to this, to the, so I want to know if this one is going to continue or is just an A and a B. But because this has broken a low here, for me, 161.8, all you can do is to plan your entry for a new direction at about 50 or 61.8. If you're able to count what price is trying to print here. Because if you come from this height to the new low before it broke this structure here, so it actually turned up and got to this point of a bit over 61.8, so which could have been a good entry for you since you missed this at this point. Now, in terms of what we know as if this one is going into a new trend to the upside, it has to go beyond 161.8 before I can say it's a new trend to the upside. Price does not behave. Okay, now, okay. Price broke this, created this, and created this, and created this. So I might be saying that, okay, this is a new move. I might see that this one was an A of a new move. Then I'm looking at this one as a possible B of a new move to the upside because it has broken here. So that's where I'm going to align myself. So I look at this, the price did this and bounced back here. So I might just be thinking maybe where the 100 extension is going to be from here, because this is a new, if it's going to form an upper low here. So I'm looking at this as a possible upper low. So I want to look at my extension because I'm kind of want to do an 100 if possible to the upside, or 123. So it's kind of around extension of 161.8 and price came down from there. So that's how to deal with this one, because you are broken a low here and it's well low. So you want to probably see this if it's going to grow up and continue. So it bounced back at 161.8. But the best is actually to look at this and say, in terms of correction, if you want to stay at 150 or a 61.8, that would be the best approach. So this wave is gone. And so we are seeing a new wave. Now, the new wave that we are seeing also is going down, okay? It's going down to make the first correction and it's pulling lower. So it's pulling lower from this, bounced up without breaking anything here, push much lower again and again. So we see that this may just end a structure here. And immediately, this is the next structure we want to see the price breaking out from. And this becomes a new low. And just step by step movement, this becomes a new low. So we want to see if price is going to break out of here. So price breaking out of here tells me that we might be in a new movement. And of course, it's a new movement because we can see the price actually broke out of here by more than 161.8 up, and it's a motive wave. So we can see that happened here. That happened here. So this ends this run, and price went up again and again, up again. So it is a cycle. Price came back down. So as you are trying to look at the structure of wave segment by segment, that also, it's a way of seeing if you want to relinquish, probably you want to do a scalp trade and all of that. But the main thing you have to do, we are looking at structure break and how it ends a move. And at this point, of course, we had another structure break, which ends a move here. And the only thing you want to tell yourself is that this structure break, has it broken beyond 161.8 to the downside, which it has, you know, which it has. Again, we are treating this one as a possible wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. And I want to see if we're going to correct a wave 4, or we're going to break below wave 4. And we did break below wave 4. So breaking below what wave 4 is, which means that you are not in this trade. So all you can do is to look for a pullback around this area to still sell to this point. So now, without making it more cumbersome, because that is how to actually go inside and do analysis, but without making it more cumbersome for us, that is what I do. That is what I do. I look at this as a possible wave A to this wave, and I look at this as a possible wave B and a C. That's what I do. First, look at the correction. Once it's done, then you can tell what to expect from here. Let me take the drawing off now. So what to expect from here, because this pulled up, finished this wave, broke to the downside, and the extension here is actually of this A to B is 127. So if it's 127, that fell within the purview of what a running flat can be. So we're expecting this to go up as a running flat. If it had gone below 127 self, it won't be a new wave until it pulls beyond 161.8 of this entire run. So once it pulls beyond 161.8 of this entire run, then you say, okay, we are in a new wave. So it's still part of a correction that is ongoing. So this is actually, you know, at 127. So being a 127, so I'm expecting that this one is going to turn, you know, at about 61.8 or not beyond 100. So we have exactly, you know, almost at 100, because 100 will take or kiss the top here. So almost kissing the top, and we had it coming down. So, you know, which makes this proper A, B, and a C. Now, this being an A, B, and a C could mean the end of this correction as a 3-1 and a 3-2, and the price will be pulling much lower. So I'm trying to now tell us what to expect next, okay? So if my main price may be pulling much lower, but what did the price do? Price came down and retraced at 85.6 of this entire run. Price came down to do 85.6. So if anybody wants to, because you might want to put your trade and still expect, okay, maybe we are going to go down. So price did this, broke structure here to the upside. From here to here, broke this structure to the upside, and the structure break is, to this point, is more than 161.8, then I knew the price is going further up to make this one as a wave 1, a wave B, and a wave C. But interestingly, or most importantly, where this one may get to is now determined by if this is the end of an ABC, and this is a new wave, which is a wave X or anything, which is at 885. Now, because it's 85, maybe it might be running a zigzag with this one. So thinking that it might be running a zigzag with this one, we expect that, okay, this one should at least do an 100. So it did an 100, just put a bit outside an 100. So that was what I gave us, that we could have an 100 or a 1, 2, 7, which will not break 1100. I mean, 11000 at this point. So that was what I gave us. So, and we had a move to the downside. Now, in our movement to the downside now, what are we seeing? Let me go inside of a 30 minutes time frame. In our movement to the downside, what are we seeing? Or better still, let me go inside 1 hour for us to capture very well, okay? So, yeah. What are we seeing in our movement to the downside? What we are seeing in our movement to the downside, the best way to deal with this is to come down, draw a trend line, and see when price is going to break that trend line. So in our movement to the downside, we want to see, in terms of retracement of this entire run, okay, that's the first thing. Price had gotten to 90, and this movement is really sharp. So if price is even going to turn to the upside, we want to see correction first. Probably we get a correction first and a drop. So to burn down the momentum. So this is a sharp momentum. When you see a sharp momentum, there are going to be a correction to pull price very close to the trend line and to signify that price is burning out. So the first one, the second move is not going to break the top. Most of the time, it won't be, because you see the manner of correction. First, create a trend line base for you as A and a B, and this one moves down or moves like this. So you're still going to have a correction that will pull towards this area and probably get one more drop before we think of breaking up again, if it's going to break up again. So what can I see here? I can see an A, and I can see a B, and I can see a C, and I can see probably a D and an E. So if this is an E and it's a triangle, if it's an E and it's a triangle, just like I drew the other time, like this, if it's a triangle, or that this is forming like, it could be, you can say maybe it's a triangle, and this is the sixth wave to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the sixth wave to the downside. The sixth wave would actually break down and continue its run, breaking the bottom, but not until it drags more than 161.8 of this immediate wave. We are not in a new move yet. But again, I'm not convinced that we are going to go down into a new wave. I'm not convinced yet. We needed to have seen a sharp drop like this somewhere around this area. So we are going to watch. This is kind of running to the downside like a three-wave structure. So because it's three-wave structure, that format that is running down, we might probably be seeing a three-wave, a move to the upside again, and it might be giving us like a 7 swing. Yeah, it might be giving us a 7 swing. Where this one will become A, B, C, and it forms a W, a X, A, B, C, to finish a Y, then for us to come down. So we may be anticipating a leg to the upside, another leg to the upside before we drop. So that is most possible. Because this is not, if this is going to be A, B, C, D, E, this should be running as sixth wave as an impulse. And I'm not seeing an impulse in this wave. So that is what I'm teaching you now. I'm not seeing an impulse in this wave. I'm not seeing it Why am I not seeing an impulse in this wave? We are still going to look at the old wave and how we treat impulse and see what the story that the price is telling us. I'm going to look inside of this immediate wave now. This immediate wave. I'm going to look inside. You know, teaching is something for you to see what we are doing, you know. So that is what we have here. What I would expect before we say we are growing into a new wave is this is the immediate wave that we have to break. So, and when we break this immediate wave, we are interested in at what point it's going to turn to break structure to the upside. This is 161.8 below here. And at that point, we now know that we are continuing with a new wave to the downside. And this is 127. So in between those points, I want to see what price action, if price continue to go down and pull down. Yes, this wave that is coming down is capable of even breaking this low here. It might break this low here. So if it breaks low here, it might just touch this area and pulls up again. So that is possible. But when I will take this thing serious that we are going down out of this correction and we are into a new wave is once we break these in relation to these, the fifth wave. And this coming as a, so if I'm going to take this one as a triangle, A, B, C, D, E, or the 5 waves to break down. But again, the format of this one does not tell me that we are done. So fine, this one pulls like an ABC, which is a 3 wave, ABC, which is a 3 wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a 5 wave here, and this is a flat, and it is a contracting flat or a running flat. All of this is a running flat, which is okay, which is correct. And this is just like an X, because this one become a W. That's what I can see for now. This one is W, so we can see 1, 2, 3, which is an X here. This kind of forms like a zigzag here. It could also be a flat. X can be anything. It can be a flat. It can be a zigzag. I didn't measure that. So, but this is just a bridge now, and this will now be another A, a B. So we need to see a C to complete Y for us to see. Probably we are going to turn down. But if this 60 leg is going to grow into the new wave, I need to see that. But I'm not calling that yet. From what I'm seeing here, I'm not calling. I still see one leg breaking up and going more up. You know, but at the end of the day, this is what we are still trying to correct. The old move down here is still what we are trying to correct. So it can get more complex than what we think. That is what I can see. Going into the 15 minutes time frame. Now, going into the 15 minutes time frame, the correction here, the correction up here, because this is a major correction here is not even at 50. So you can see it's not at 50, it's even below 38. So that it's kind of funny looking, as if we are going to go into like a three-wave pattern that probably may just do an 100 extension to this, or 123 extension. You know, it might just do maybe 100 extension or anything. Another thing to look at again is if I see this as a correction on the lower time frame, if I see this as a 1 and a 2 on the lower time frame, if I see that as a 1 and a 2 on the lower time frame, I'm still going to go inside the 5 minutes to see. So this may look like a 2. And so what I would have expected, at least a three-wave to the downside here to grow properly into a three-wave, which is from here to this point, would have given me a three-wave. And if I'm seeing a correction around this area, that is what probably I would expect normally. After this correction, probably I would expect, you know, if this one is a 1 and a 2, and this is going to be a 3, yeah, if it's going to be a 3, it's not impossible that it's going to be, of course, we are broken 161.8 to the downside. But this in the middle of it, then I can now take, okay, maybe if it's in the middle of it, I can see that after dropping from here, this is a 1, probably can this one be a 2? If it can be a 2, then it's part of still wave 3 to the downside. So that is what I want to see. Then I come here, take this, and this is still 40. It is not. If I even go inside of 5 minutes for us to see well. Now, this is what I just said. So inside of 5 minutes, I'm just breaking this thing down. Okay, inside of 5 minutes. So we see, okay, this move, the push to the downside, and this is actually the first correction, okay? After this push to the downside, we saw this A, B, and a C. So it can be an okay, this actually went up to finish the wave up properly here. The bullish move is where the thing finished, okay, and we came down sharply. Let me try to zoom in for us to see. Okay, so it ended here, and this seller pushed it down. So the seller pushing down, it pushed down from here, which is the first move, and this will be A, and this will be B, and this will be a C. So it's still the return is actually here, not here, because this is a push down. The bullish move is the end of this wave here. So the sellers pushing down. This is the first move, A, B, and a C. So this is the lowest. So that forms like that. And at the end of the day, it's still about, it looks like a 2 to this, good. So, but now this is where we have problems with. Okay, this is where we have problems now. So we are thinking now that we did a C. Yeah, this still being part of wave 3 in this making, part of wave 3. Does it look like that? Yeah, it may look like that, like part of wave 3 here. It may look like that. From here to this point. It didn't even give us a 50. So I think it's still part of a correction, ABC to this point, and that is what we are seeing now. So we are seeing an ABC correction, and this is not a motive wave correction that we are seeing. So we are not seeing a motive wave correction. So it's an ABC correction. It's not a motive wave correction that we are seeing. So we would take this one as an ABC to this point, and this is a bridge, and probably we are going, so ABC of A and a B, and we are at least going to see a movement to the downside now. So that is what it looks like now. ABC of A. So this is a wave, and this is a B wave. So we're going to take this one off. This rather completes a move. This one completes another move here, which is a B. And so on that time frame, we begin to see a triad, A, B, and going to see a C. So where this one is going to terminate is what we are going to figure out. So it's definitely not a 5-wave structure that is going into. I can't see anything like 5-wave structure. So that tells me that we will still be going up one more time. And the possible place you can get to, and if they like, they can elongate based on this. The possible place that this one can get to finish in its own internal architecture is, this is 1, 2, 7, okay, which even coincide with what we are seeing. So that is what I can see now. This is its own 100 extension. This is its own 100 extension. And this is its own 123. Okay. So inside of this wave is going into 3-wave, A, B, and a C at 100 or 123 here. In terms of this correction, like I said, is only when it pulls beyond a 161.8, which is here below. So his own extension here of 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 is here for this extension. This put to this is this 1, 2, 3 here, which coincide with actually 1, 2, 3 of the internal structure of this one. So this looks like a pretty much strong place for this thing to turn upwards. So between here, so if it's going to break, if it's going to kiss the low, it turns at 100, kissing the low here. If it's going to break below it, it comes to this point. So we are going to be looking at structure break to the upside around this area, in between this area, a structure break to the upside to see that we are going to correct the 7th leg to the upside. And after the correction of the 7th leg to the upside, now we might be seeing a fall to the downside. That is what it's looking like now. This is, and that leg that is going to go to the upside is better be a 5-wave structure. So if it's a 5-wave structure to the upside, then that marks the end of the correction that we're going to fall. So far, this is A, B, C. This is A, B, C. This is like a 5 wave, this is like a 3 wave, and this is like a 5 wave. It's like a zigzag here. It's like a zigzag here. But a zigzag like that forms like ABC, then we have a proper 5 wave structure here. So this is an ABC on that time frame, and as extension of 123, 127, and to form a running flat to complete a W. This is a W now. So this is an X, and this is another A, and this is going to be a B. So if that turns out to be a B, I'm breaking here, and we're going to watch how it forms, relates with this to know where the last leg of 7 is going to be, which is Y, for us to turn down. So this is still a corrective format to turn down. That is what I'm saying. Now, if we immediately turn to this one and see the kind of correction that this one has made, so we can see that this has a 1ABC. We can see that one clearly in its own architecture, a 1ABC. To turn down, I'm using this opportunity to teach us now. To turn down, and this being the height of correction here now, as an A, B, C, then you can see that this also is a running flat. From here to here is the first move. Okay, so, oh my gosh. Okay, so from here to here, yeah, so the price came down a 4 and a 5 to give us this move as an A, B, maybe at 127 and at about 76 or 60 something. So to form a running flat. Now, for us to know if we are going into a motive wave, so here should pull below 161.8. And the 161.8 is here. That's 161.8. That tells us this one had grown into a new wave. So this is actually a third wave, the top part of the wave, and which the 3, the 4, and the 5 ended here, because this is now a complete wave. So we can see that this one gave us a complete 5-wave structure to the downside, and we add this as probably also a 3-wave structure to the upside. A, now that's A, we now have A, B, C to finish this as a B wave or wave 2, and we are seeing another 4. This is a big 4. So we are still trapped inside of here. And even if this one is going to be A, let me change this to a black because I finished the internal structure of that. So like I've said, at least I would expect 100 for us to say, okay, we have finished this. We expect at least 100 extension from here to that place. We expect that's on the bigger, looking at the big picture now. So the 100 extension is also very close to where we expect this to turn. So the 100 extension also is very close to where we expect this to turn to the upside. And the 123 extension is also gone below the 161.8 of this. So, you know, $123 here, 127 here. So everything is still falling between this being an A, B, and a C. So we are going to see, but for now, I see this as a big move of a 1, 2, 3, which is going to grow past this, but I think we're not going to engage the structure below here for now. If we are going to have the first correction, you know, the 7th correction to the upside, and that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swing, and we are turning down. That is when we are going to break down. So for now, what I see is a break of this structure to the downside here, and for us to move up. This is not going into a 5-way structure. That is why I don't think that is going to come down for now. We are still turning up. We will most likely break below here and turn up. So what you'll be looking at in the coming week, what we'll be looking at in the coming week is to see how we begin to break structure. That's what we'll be looking at in the coming week. We want to see how we break structure. And the structure now for me to break, still not that clear yet. Breaking the structure, so we can see that this is a structure here. This is a structure here. So is it a definite structure? We have this move, a correction to the upside, and this to the downside. Now, is this part of this move? We are going to look at this. How do we look at that? If it is beyond the structure, we are going to grow below 161.8, then that takes that, okay, it is not part of structures that we're going to take into consideration. So once we break below 161.8 of that extension, which is here, once we break below this point, which is, let me use, what color do I use for this now? Let me use this color for it. Also, once we break below that, we're going to look for a new structure. So this is where we want to break. So once we break below that, it's still within this structure. So if we break above here now, we'll say, oh, we are correcting up again. So this is, but once we break below here, we have to look for a new structure between here and whatever we get. So we still have a new structure developing. We have a new structure developing. This one to this, let me see. This one to this. this one to this. Okay, that movement to the downside here also could still be within that correction, because that's a move. This move up here, and we compare to this move that is coming down. That's another way to look at the structure. That is going to grow into a new structure once we clear this base. That's 161.8 below here. So once we clear that base, so once we clear from this sharp movement to this side, this can be an A. This stops being a B once it pulls below here. So in fact, let's take this out. On the 15 minutes time frame, let's take that out. Let's take this out. We better consider this, because after this break of this structure, because this is a break of this structure now. So we are seeing a break of this structure. So creating a new structure. So a new pullback here. So we want to see if this one is an A and this one is a B. So once this one breaks, this one is out. Once it breaks here to the downside, then it's still growing as part of what we expect. So we are expecting a reaction around this area or below for us to cross to the upside. So we are going to be watching for a break of structure. So if we have my own, what I'm pitching here, if we have a break to the upside and we have any sell position, we may close our sell position once we break let's go to 30 minutes. Yes. So this is an area we will be thinking of relinquishing the position for now. We need to see a price action to break structure to the upside around this area. Then we close our sell, look for a buy to buy, the last wave of Y, which is a C. And after that, we may be thinking of coming down. So, and the way this one pulls, how lower it pulls in relation to this one will tell us where the leg is going to be. So if this one is the way it is, and this one turns out at about 127, if it turns out about 127, then we are thinking that this may pull to a 61.876 or 100 to tap the top again before it goes down. If it turns out back at about 100 here, if it touches 100 and begins to give us, a pull to the upside, yeah, I don't see this one even turning. It's likely to pull towards this area before it turns up. So we're going to be looking at that. So we already have this channel in place for it. So we already have channels in place for it. So it's going to burn down towards the edge, then goes up, break the structure to the upside, then gives us an entry again at 30 minutes time frame, give us an entry and to go up. So if we get an entry, our stop loss is just going to be a bit under this low, and that's what you can do. So that's what I see for now. I think I'm going to end. I've taught us a whole lot of stuff that if we are dealing with a triangle, we know it's going to be 333. A flat is 335. A zigzag is 535. So a triangle is a 333. So I think maybe what I would just do before I finish this is let me go to the daily time frame for us to look at what is brewing again. here. So what is brewing again here? Because we have been seeing this also as a potential five-wave A, B, C, D, E. So clearly, as we can see, this is a three-wave structure, which tells me that we are not done correcting around this area. So it's a three-wave structure. It didn't go into five-wave structure. So it's a clear three-wave structure that tells us we are still coming down. So, and if this is now A, B, C, D, and this is going to be an E, if it turns out to be a five-wave structure, then price is going to, move up. It can still be a five-wave structure by breaking this low. Once we break this low to the downside, then it's turning out to be a five-wave structure. So we are still in the middle of all of that. So this also, clearly looks like ABC, and here too, maybe a B, and a C, and this is like a five waves. So we still need to see what is playing out here. All right, let me stop here.